Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah.
All right, welcome to the morning show, everybody. Spencer, Steve, JC, Alfonso with you every morning, as we are this morning, like we are every morning. I don't think I said that right. Whatever. It's Friday. That's exciting. Crypto Friday on the morning show. Unfortunately for us, no Louis today. Louis is sick, so he'll be back with us next week. But we still have to discuss the cryptos because that's what we do on Crypto Friday. Let's see. We'll talk Netflix as well. Disaster of the day. Not that big JC or Steve cares, but I care. CVS. Oh my God, CVS. What else are we talking about today? Got some little things to talk about. We never talked about Robinhood from the other day. I still want to get to that. I got some things on my list. Maybe we'll get to that. Maybe we'll get to my list for once. I don't know. Let's see. Here we go.
All right, we out here.
Nice
Wait,
hat.
so Louis not here right now? Is he like on an airplane or traveling?
He said he was sick.
Oh, he's sick.
Oh, okay. I'll have to
It's all
call him.
good.
Like imagine,
Happy bull market, everybody.
imagine if you waited 8 months for Bitcoin to break out of a range and then like you weren't there for it.
Imagine if you missed the whole bull market because it made you sad that small caps couldn't keep up with the best stocks. Can you imagine what kind
Like,
of
at
serial
this
killer
point-
thinks that way?
If Bitcoin breaks out of this range while I'm sleeping, I'm pissed off. I want to sit here and watch it. I'm going to sit here and stare at 1 minute charts. Cuz like I feel like we've earned that. You know?
You want the good news or do you want the bad news?
I don't know.
Friday, baby. Bad news? What are you talking about?
Good news only? I don't
The
know.
good news first or you want the bad news first? Go ahead.
I guess the bad news first.
The bad news first. You sure?
Throw up
Strazza?
the Economist cover eventually.
All right, we'll start with the bad news. Let's go.
So, all right, break this down. What's the takeaway? I looked at this real quick and thought one thing, and I talked to one of our buddies. They thought something completely different.
All
What
right,
is this
so-
cover?
Just a little bit, and then we'll get into the state of the markets. But facts only.
Facts only.
Journalists are not traders. Journalists are not investors.
Whoa.
Hold on. Stop. Journalists are not traders. Journalists are not investors. Journalists do not know the things that we know. Journalists do not look at the world in the way that we look at the world. Journalists are very, very good, especially the good journalists, are very, very good at understanding what traders and investors are talking about, what they're thinking, particularly at consensus, right? So once sentiment gets to consensus, journalists are the best in the business at identifying that. Kudos to them, right? Now, by the time the journalist, who obviously doesn't look at the world the way we do or doesn't do any of the things that we do, by the time they realize what that consensus is, historically speaking, that is not early in the cycle. That is historically much later on in the cycle, probably towards the end. Then the journalist has to write their article. They have to put the team together. And you could take that thing down, Spencer. The journalist has to put together the team, put together the article. They got to hire the artist to submit the art cover. Then it has to get approved. The article has to get approved. By the time all this happens and they actually go to print and they publish the magazine, it's way too late. We have seen this over so many years, and some journalists and some publications are more guilty of this than others. There is no publication that is more consistently wrong, particularly at turning points, than The Economist. They are the best in the business. They called the dollar in 2016, the inflation stuff, the energy. I mean, we could go example by example. I sent out an email this morning with links to prior examples, but the bottom line is when The Economist comes up with such an obnoxious cover after such a long trend, historically that trend is probably changing. So if you would go to the next chart, and then we'll get into the state of the markets, We are looking at the United States versus developed markets, Spencer Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And we are looking at the United States versus emerging markets.
Dude.
It is no secret that these lines have been going up for quite some time. And now the Economist is telling you that they expect this to continue. Steve Strazza, do you expect this to continue?
Have you tweeted or written about this yet?
Yeah, it went out this morning. Check your email.
Got it. So this is great. I love you. I was talking to one of our buddies and he was saying, this is about the dollar. And I said, no, this is about SPY, VEU, or these charts right here.
Tell your buddy he's wrong. Terrible assessment. It has nothing to do with the dollar.
When I hear America's economy with a rocket ship, I think stock market up. And then I usually actually think dollar's probably down, right? Cover like this. So this is great. It's been 15 years. I think we're going to look back to this one. Maybe these tops take some time, but as risk appetite is growing and investors are positioning more and more offensively as this bull market enters the later stages, this has ex-US outperformance written all over it. That kind of an environment.
Yep.
Like dollar maybe completing a top, rates coming down. I want everything outside of the US more than the US eventually. Yeah. I think these trends change and we end up looking back and pointing to this magazine cover as another absolute gem from our friends over at The Economist.
They might be your friends. They definitely are not mine.
Wait, can I say a couple things? First,
Spencer is a journalism major.
Hold on.
That's his fucking problem.
Hold on. First of all,
hardcore.
Everybody is an investor, right? Lots of people, just because you're not like, a institution doesn't make you not an investor, right? I'm sure the people at The Economist are investors too, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they're great at it.
Okay. Second thing is, we don't actually know what the article says. None of us have actually read it.
Doesn't matter, Spencer. That's the whole point. It don't matter.
Not about that. It's the cover.
Not about that.
It's the cover because nobody reads the fucking articles. Right. They just look at the covers.
I look at the pictures. Do you get your Playboy for the articles or for the pictures, Spencer Israel?
Pictures, always.
Thank you. Same thing.
Yeah. Wow. Go ahead.
Okay, but what I was
going to say softcore porn for math nerds.
Is the article could say the opposite of the right?
I doubt it. It doesn't matter anyway.
Doesn't matter.
Number one, I doubt it. Number two, it doesn't matter.
There's a rocket ship with the dollar, and it says America's economy.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
the envy of the world, Spencer Israel. Come on.
Yeah, and maybe the conclusion of that, the conclusion to that idea is that like this can't go on for much longer, right?
Yeah, no, that's not their conclusion.
Maybe this is one of those SpaceX rockets.
Israel, why don't you go long S&Ps and short global indexes to see how that works out for you?
Well, I'm overweight in the U.S. anyway, so what difference does it make?
As are most people because they can't overcome their recency bias.
Okay, or my domestic bias. Fine.
Right, home country bias, recency bias. You got them all, Spencer.
Yeah,
like a true journalist.
I think no, but seriously, I think the idea.
They're in London, JC.
What?
The Economist is based in London.
Yeah.
So does that make it better or worse? Probably worse.
They don't have a home country bias to the U.S. Their home country is not the U.S.
No, they do.
No, Spencer, stop.
But stop. I think the point.
Let's move on. Can we talk about more important things? This is funny, haha. The Economist, they get it wrong all the time. We've made a lot of money off of it. Anybody following us has made a lot of money off of it. Funny, haha. If they ever go bankrupt, which is probably coming because who reads this crap? Guys, we should start a GoFundMe account to keep these people employed. Because if they lose their jobs at the pace that they're going, we're going to lose the data, and that's not good for us. So if somebody out there wants to start a GoFundMe account to keep journalists employed, you can count me in.
You're being really mean this morning. I think it's
Am I? I just said it. They're the best in the business at identifying consensus amongst traders and investors. I don't have that kind of talent.
Hold on a second. I think it's more that these journalists are really good at figuring out like what is the vibe right now? What are people talking about? What do they want to hear about? The dollar and US stocks have been dominating for a really long time, right? So I think it speaks to the sentiment that they want that to be the cover story more than what the article actually says.
About a year or two ago, they wrote an article with a cover story about how Wall Street is not using technical analysis anymore and how technical analysis is going by the wayside and nobody studies price behavior. We all know that isn't true. It's laughable. I contacted the journalist. The journalist had no interest whatsoever in learning more about how wrong she was. She didn't give a fuck. And I was very nice and I was very helpful. I offered to take her to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange so she could see for herself every single person is doing technical analysis. I could take her to 50 Wall Street firms. I'm friends with all of them. They'll happily let me in and show. She had no interest. So you know what, The Economist? Fuck you. You suck.
Wow. All right.
I tried. Can we do the state of the market, please?
I think this was good. This was good.
I think so.
I thought that was state of the market, but all right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the Dow futures at 43,450, pretty much flat on the day. S&P futures up 0.25%, just under 5,900. NASDAQ 100 futures up 0.5%, 100 points for NASDAQ 100 futures. 30-year bond futures flat at 120. Crude oil flat, just under 70. Copper up almost 2% this morning, 440. Gold up almost 1%, 27.30. Wow, gold, new all-time highs. Silver up another 2%, 32.5, with the volatility index still at 19. Wow, just cannot come down. And over in the old funny money land, we've got Bitcoin up about 0.5%, 67,700. Ethereum 2,600 up 0.5%. Solana 152 up 1.5%. Binance flat 594. Total crypto market cap. Spencer Israel 2.27 trillion. With the Bitcoin dominance pushing 59% as Bitcoin continues to eat in to the market capitalization of total crypto assets. Very, very impressive there from Bitcoin. What stands out this morning?
Not a lot for me, sadly, because my Thinkorswim won't load for me. So I got my knowledge from what you just said. So I haven't had time to internalize it really at all. So I guess that sounds okay. Right? I don't know. Nothing to add, really.
Yeah, nothing really stands out this morning. Kind of a nothing burger. Copper up 2% is interesting. Precious metals continuing to soar despite a stronger dollar index. Granted, emerging market currencies have been doing pretty well, but the dollar index itself has been strong. Precious metals strong in the face of that. You know, that's impressive from precious metals. I got to tell you, more and more precious metal stocks keep showing up on our scans. More and more targets in our precious metal stocks keep getting hit. Those are characteristics of uptrends, right? That's what we normally see.
I could talk
about
that. Are you done?
Yeah.
You want to talk about interest rates?
Well, I wanted to, I want to hear your thoughts from this morning. What's on your mind with rates?
So, U.S. dollar's basically up every day this month, and rates have more or less followed. Really since mid-September, rates have been rallying. I think we should be looking at these charts like they're both still range bound, and that's likely to peak out and roll over soon after this kind of. This is the best win streak for the dollar of all time, really, in my opinion.
Of all time.
Yeah, throw up the chart. Here. Yeah, check this out. Slide 1. Data going back to 1980.
It's a great chart.
It's been 14 straight days. I'm cheating a little bit because the dollar was down like 0.001% on like October 7th. So I just kind of turned that into a green day. So this would be the best ever. That really doesn't matter. It's more of a fun fact than anything. But we're in the middle of a range here. It's not like we're breaking out of anything. Like this is going to roll over. And then what are stocks going to do if they've been more or less ripping? Stocks have been doing great out here with the dollar in a straight line higher all month and interest rates. So dollar rates roll over. Are stocks going to roll over too? I don't think so. I think they're going to look even better than they look now. So what are some of the groups that we want to look to? It's all about the B's. And we talked about this last year too. It's stuff like banks, biotechs, Bitcoins, builders, buildings, building materials. I think tech stands to profit, big data companies. Do we have these charts? Let's throw some of them up. Look at the like big 6 bank index.
I mean, man, and then
This
you know
breakout.
you're looking at mid cap financials making new all-time highs, large cap financials making new all-time highs. It's not like one of those things. Like this is a great chart because it talks about the bellwethers, the most important ones, but it goes far beyond this. But yeah, go ahead. This is great.
These were, I don't want to say they were holding back XLF. These are some of the largest weightings in XLF that we're looking at in this chart here. This is the 6 biggest banks in the US. But XLF does look better than this when you zoom all the way out, right? Now that you're getting like the breakout here from the banks, I think this is as good of confirmation as you can get for the strength in financials. And now you're seeing JC down the cap scale. The regionals are absolute rippers since last week. So this is encouraging. Another group is the biotechs. Every single day, there's another biotech. We're like, holy cow, look at this beautiful base. And look at this.
Yeah, I mean, have you noticed that Sam has become one of my favorite people? Like, it's not like he's a nice guy or a good-looking guy or works hard. It has nothing to do with any of those things. It's because he's always bringing me biotech stocks.
He loves the bios. Yeah, there's too many. You can't even buy them all at this point. So many of these biotechs look good. So let's show the example. Show the MRUS or the Vera, if we have it. Look at this. A lot of charts like this. We're buying the best ones. Nice little crossover there. Couple charts look like this right now. This reminds me of MRUS, reminds me of Viking Therapeutics a little bit. These big coils, weekly momentum crossovers in place. How about Bitcoins? Bitcoin's breaking out. Yep. Catching up to MicroStrategy. I think that's a group that definitely benefits. There's so many tailwinds for the Bitcoin stuff right now. We keep talking about it. How about builders? Look at the home builders. About to break out.
When it comes to consumer discretionary, home builders are definitely one of the key groups within consumer discretionary. Home construction has been a great leading indicator for this overall market, despite the struggles in consumer discretionary. You want to look for leading indicators. The homies are that. Remember the 5 before the nosedive? Remember we came up with like a list of 5 indexes that if you think the market's going to roll over, these are the ones that are going to roll over. If they're making new highs, you're going to have a hard time with your shorts, right? Remember that? This was one of them. This was one of them. Thank goodness. It was very helpful. Very helpful.
I also think that like the continued strength here from a group like home builders, it makes me feel better from like a broader market, like health perspective, because semiconductors aren't at new highs, like all these other tech subgroups, right? It's like a little bit strange. But the home builders, I think, are right there. When I think of best stocks this bull market, I'm thinking semiconductors, I'm thinking home builders, right? You could throw in some other more niche groups, but those are really the 2 biggest industry groups that have been the best.
I got one more chart. I want to hop, and I'll take it back to you. But I'm gonna hop. But I want to leave you guys with one more chart, and this is how impressed I am with how resilient China has been. Throw up that slide. This is the CSI 300 in China, which is now closed for the week. This is the S&P 500 of China. Is probably the best way to the best way to explain it. The CSI 300 is the S&P 500 of China.
Yeah.
Look how well this thing has held in over the last 2 weeks after the most historic breath thrust in the history of Chinese equities. Holding in there just fine over the last couple of weeks. Just to give you guys some fun facts.
It's great. Really good.
It was down. Last week, it was barely down. And this week, it was up a little bit. So, like, after that monster thrust, you had a slight down week and then a slight up week. If you would have told me 2 weeks ago after that there would be no give back at all, I don't know that I would have believed you. I don't know that I would have believed you. So, and again, I know that there's more volatility on a day-to-day basis. Let's remember what we're talking about. This is China. So it would behoove you, in my experience, to maybe take a step back, look at some weekly closing prices, look at weekly charts in general, especially when they're completed, which in China, it's already been completed. I personally am very, very impressed with the way China has held in there, despite the greatest momentum thrust in the history of Chinese equities, which was 2 weeks ago. Any final thoughts on that before I hop, Strazza?
Yes. Can I show you, I think, the best and easiest buy as a vehicle in China right now? Yeah. I mean, this is a gift from the investing gods. This
with
is
you.
like
And another lesson here. Don't forget about the pink sheets. There's some monsters in the pink sheets.
no.
Right?
This is the biggest, baddest company in China, coming off a fresh trend reversal after an absolute washout for Chinese equities. Like, imagine buying Microsoft or Apple after that first reversal pattern coming out of the .com bubble or the financial crisis. I think that's what you're getting here.
I think you're spot on with the Tencent. I think there's other opportunities there as well. Again, I'll come back to I am just incredibly impressed.
Clean. This is more about just the cleanliness of this chart. Like,
Agreed.
This is exactly where you want to buy stocks for the long run.
Agreed. So based on the magazine cover that the geniuses over at The Economist just published, long China, short US. Adios.
I like it. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Oh, he's gone, just like that.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Well, while you were talking, I was doing some Googling. Yeah, it turns out nobody does read The Economist. I didn't realize that, but that's part of their allure, is that nobody reads The Economist, right? One of their former editors said, never in the history of journalism has so much been read for so long by so few. Nobody reads it. Anyway, thought that was a funny quote. All right. They had an ad campaign in the 90s, not read by millions of people. That was their slogan. Anyway,
Really?
yeah.
See,
yeah.
I think we could be nicer about the journalist and economist stuff.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of China, gosh damn, I swear every day I read conflicting headlines. It's like the economy is in the shitter, but somehow like individual metrics keep going up. I don't know. Like the growth is not there. The growth is slowing, and yet I saw a bullish headline this morning. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, it's
but Spencer, it's simply how it works. Markets don't bottom on good news.
Right. Well, I mean, generally speaking, every day for the last few weeks, right? These stocks are either you wake up at 6 a.m. and they're either all up in the pre-market 8, 9, 10%, or they're all down 8, 9, 10%. It's one or the other, right?
Well, the last 2 weeks, I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to it because can you really trust anything coming out of China? But the last 2 weeks, all I've been hearing is that the stimulus didn't work. It wasn't enough, right?
Yeah, that's what the headline said. I don't know.
They're digging in here. They're digging in. Something worked.
Okay, before we bring on Kenny, you want to do Netflix? We had some Netflix earnings last night.
I would love to talk about Netflix. Do we have the earnings points? Sam, drop them in or no? I could pull them quick.
I mean, I have my own earnings points.
All right, good. This thing's breaking out. Look at this. Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, Netflix is, they're doing good. They're doing good here. So I think we also have the charts of their subscriber growth. Bottom line is, we're up this morning in the pre-market session. We're up like 5%? No, 6% now. The numbers were good. They came in above estimates pretty much across the board there on the EPS, on the revenue, and on the subscribers. The big growth driver, as we thought, would be their ad tier memberships, of which I am a member. I think I pay like $6 to $7 a month for Netflix with ads. 35% year-over-year increase. Or sorry, 35% quarter-over-quarter increase.
Hold on.
What?
What would it be? Another $3 to not have ads?
Maybe.
Seriously, why?
I don't know.
Did you not have Netflix before, or did you downgrade?
I was mooching for a long time.
Oh, you were one of the moochers.
Yeah. So they got me. Look, they got me. Okay, they got me. I'm pretty cheap when it comes to the streaming stuff. I pay for.
They cut you off
for one thing, and that's Netflix. It's the only thing that I pay for.
Wow. You heard my story. You heard my story on Spaces about what YouTube TV did to me.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Some of these guys, man, they're really good. They're really good.
Yeah.
Rose was telling me, what's that new American Horror Story came out. Now it's like, oh, we got to get the Hulu again. But we've done too many free trials already. It's a hole.
Well, I just canceled my Hulu because Hulu is on Disney Plus now.
I had the Hulu with the Disney, with the ESPN at one point. Then I lost them. I can't keep track of any of this.
Anyway, Netflix is, and they've been talking about this now for a couple of years, right? They have entered like a new stage of their business where it's not all about the subscriber growth as we have the chart up on the screen. It's really just about in the margins, which for them was record high margins for them, and it's about optimizing the business in other ways, which is why they're going to be expanding the advertising tier to other countries, and it's about making the business more efficient and profitable, which they are. Right?
Spencer, you should go work for their public relations team. That was so good. No, seriously.
Well, that's what their report said. I'm just reading them what their report said.
Investor relations, if you're listening, contact Spencer.
Well, I mean, in fairness to them, that's kind of like they said that a couple of years ago when they had that big subscriber, when they had that drop, the first ever drop in subscribers, and they were like, well, maybe we maybe the business is changing. It's not all about growth anymore. Maybe we're entering a different stage of our life cycle, and they kind of have been.
But that's the point, right? Like, there's a good deal of spin on the story that you just told. You made this all sound really good. You could also just say, to explain the same thing that you were explaining, this is a late stage growth company, right? This is a company that has matured, period. Probably peaked out in terms of growth.
The other way to say it is they're the nicest house on a crappy block.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it's not as if streaming is a good business, as we've learned, right? Thanks to Disney and Warner Brothers and everyone else who's entered, right? It's not an efficiently run business right now. Netflix is doing the best job of anyone, but still, it's a kind of a tough business.
I've never believed in Netflix, and I've been wrong my entire career. It just seems to me that this eventually comes to an end because their model is so strange to me. It is like the lowest quality stuff. The content is mostly trash. Like once a year, there's a hit show,
weird, isn't it?
But they just pump it out, dude. They're a machine, and I think it's like overwhelming, and consumers feel like they're getting a good deal because there's just like so many new shows every time you log on to this thing.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do with them, and they all suck. So I don't know, but it keeps working. You're right, Spencer. There's Netflix.
Nicest house on a crappy block.
Yep.
Credit to Netflix for coming all the way back. That it looked real bad there on that top chart, right? It looked really bad there for a minute, and they turned it around. And yes, great question. Who in the chat just said when dividend? I don't know, Josh, but that's a great question. When dividend, Netflix? Let's go.
Yeah. No. Yep.
Come on now.
Yeah, it's probably coming.
Probably is.
Spencer, Uber Expedia. You heard about this?
Oh, dude, this made me chuckle out loud.
What? Yeah.
What a life hack. What a life hack. What? If you are the CEO of a company and you get and you go to be the CEO of a new company, and you want to get your shares from your old company to be worth more, just buy the old company at your new company.
Fine. And yes, that's going on there for sure. But also, Derek Hay is basically a student of Barry Diller, right? And Barry Diller's whole big belief and why he's famous in the investing world is for economies of scale. This is a guy who figured out many, many decades ago that these tech companies, these internet platforms, are far stronger when they're together, right? Because they can achieve synergies and all these beautiful economies of scale. That's just how the tech world works. That's all Dara's trying to do. Think about the power of the Uber app in your pocket. If they're not just going to pick you up and drive you where you're going, but then you can also do all your bookings and your reservations and your hotel list through there. A world where Uber and Expedia are together, I'm kind of down. I think that's great. And why not? He's proven to be such a master operator. If you're Expedia shareholders, do it. Of course not. He could run the company better than they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's probably not the worst. It's probably not the worst idea in the history of M&A ideas, right?
This company, however it happens, I think this is a must own. They're going to be an absolute powerhouse. This is a company that can grow to be one of the super, super huge tech companies. I'm telling you, I think Uber is in that Mag 7 conversation in the future.
Expedia, really? Yeah. Go Expedia, go. All right, wait, we got Kenny here. Let's bring Kenny on and then see what he's trading, and then we'll go back to what we're doing.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come for my club, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Were you talking about Uber?
Yeah, we were.
You know
Um,
that you know why you want to buy that stock, no matter what price it is? Because it's a verb or an adjective. I don't know. I didn't do well in school. When you Uber something, you Uber. That's what you do, right? The kids say, once that's part of Americana, that's the kind of stock
well,
you want to buy,
I mean,
right?
Zoom was a verb. It still is a verb, honestly.
Hey, listen, the chart came back. That was like the Roku. I don't get the Roku or the Zoom. I don't know why anybody. I don't understand DocuSign either, but yet they were decent trades. So,
DocuSign's a
but
verb to some
yeah,
extent.
I
All right,
like
Kenny,
you.
what are we trading today?
Well, looking at Netflix, looking at AXP, but you guys want to recap yesterday, or we could just forget about yesterday? That Alcoa trade.
Yeah, Leah, talk to me about it.
Yeah, let's talk about the Alcoa, right? I came in with a couple of ideas. The fade. Again, if you ain't fading, you ain't trading. And when do you get that fade? Look at that VWAP break, and you basically never recovered. And I like the stock, but again, the idea of the fade, ladies and gentlemen, is just like these Chinese stocks this morning, and I'll get to those. When you make the bet, how do you cash out? You sell. So the players that were buying Alcoa over those last couple of weeks, when I was showing you that 3-week chart coming out of that bottoming formation, they got their gap and they just sold the gap. We actually did trade it long once and it really didn't pay us too well. So we got quickly out of it and just joined the winning team. So again, look at that. The trend really never got broken. And it was an interesting trade. But today, again, when it got down to the 40, I was interested yesterday. Now it's gapping up. I'm still got my eye on the Alcoa. But it's all about Netflix. I'm just waiting to see if the fade happens. So generally, you had this monstrous move, and if you trade the aftermarket, here's the 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal. And we were kind of joking around about it, with saying, they'll sell it off 30 points and then it'll rally 60. It's exactly what happened. So again, I'm with you with the content. I mean, if you like Nick Cage, you got all the Nick Cage movies you want. And the content is junk. I think I've conquered Netflix. There's nothing on that site that I want to watch, yet everybody loves it. My dad got it wrong too. I remember he was shorting it. He's like, who wants DVDs? I'm like, Dad, they're not going to be doing DVDs anymore. Don't short the stock. They're going to be going into something called streaming. Streaming, what's that? But, when you see the stock above yesterday's reaction highs, that's just super, super bullish now. So my inkling is that you will get some profit taking, but if it goes above this 734.80, chances are you might be going to 750 on this name, because it is a bull market and this is one of the most bullish stocks there is. But if we do fade through the VWAP, and right there is just 730. If we can break 730, we might pull back to that reaction high from last night. That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to make those 6 points there. Not trading options. I'll probably be a lot more nimble with the shares. Then you got AXP. Again, you got rejected at the VWAP and now it's rolling over. So nasty looking chart right now. Kind of screwed you here for a second. Pre-market action can be very, very difficult because the lack of shares being traded. So now that it's gone back below the VWAP, back below the VWAP and back below the lows of the day, that interests me for the buy. So if they wash everybody out and this thing starts to come back, I'm looking for a buy above 275 for the climb back to the 279. That's a nice 4-pointer. Of course, the UVXY and the QQQ. Generally, Friday's a bullish day. Generally, every day seems to be bullish. So here's a little subtle play for you guys. UVXY tends to fall Mondays and Fridays a lot. I'm looking at 26.50, 26 put spread. You're probably going to pay 20-something cents for the 26.50s. You could sell the 26s for 8 cents. You're probably going to risk 10 cents to make 50. So risking 10 to make 500% on your money or 400% on your money. UVXY put spread for today. And of course, this drug stock, just waiting to short it again. Absolutely insane. I don't know how these things keep coming back, but there's the VWAP shuffle. When it shuffles along the VWAP and breaks above it, you're off to the races again. But I look at this stock as a short. I'm not getting in its way right now, but if it rolls over and starts getting hammered, I'm going to look for a borrow on this one. And that's what I'm going to be looking at.
All right. If you want to either find out how Kenny trades these stocks every morning, like what his strategy is, or B, even get that fancy schmancy blue and dotted yellow line on your charts, I did drop a link in the chat. It is also in the description, or at the very top of the description. You can watch Kenny's video where he explained all this the other day, or you can just join his room, hitthebid.com. It's on the screen right now.
Yeah, man. And if you like sports gambling, yesterday, let's give it up to thank you, DraftKings, for inventing live betting. So again, I'm very superstitious. I wasn't leaving my house. I was supposed to be at a friend's house watching the game. And I was like, listen, I'm not leaving right now. It looks like they might, I want to see if they can stage a comeback. Next thing you know, they come back. So I was like, all right, I probably shouldn't leave because something bad might happen. You were getting plus 1,800 on your money. So a $50 bet, just in case you won $900 on a $50 bet last night. Thank you, DraftKings. And thank you, Mets, coming back to reality. So we had Mets, Yankees in a parlay, and sad, but hey, listen, I don't bet to on my emotions. I bet what I don't want to have happen, and it worked out last night.
Guaranteed to be happy that way. All right. Quick programming note. While we have Kenny here, due to the travel, JC and Steve are going to California on Sunday, I believe. So we're not doing a morning show Monday through Wednesday, but in lieu of that, Kenny will be going live in that critical hour, that 9:15 to 10 o'clock window. He'll be going live on our channel right here, just for that window, just so you can get a taste of what he's gonna do, what he does every day, and what your appetite for more, because he's there doing every day, and we want in lieu of instead of having nothing, we figured we'd just let Kenny on do it for a little bit in the morning. So
cool.
What's going on next week? So Kenny, we'll see you on Monday right here on the channel, and maybe I'll hop in with you for a few minutes because I'll be around as well. So
I didn't win Degenerate of the Year. I thought I was up for an award at the Stocktoberfest. I didn't get notified from Howard, so I guess I'm out of the loop again. What happened? Degenerate of the Year.
Steve is our chief yellow officer, so you do have some competition there. I don't know. Kenny, we'll see you on Monday, all right?
All right, man. Have a great weekend.
Let's go Yankees.
Kenny and I could be co-degen captains.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm excited for Stocktoberfest.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been. I'm not going. I've never been.
I've actually never been either. I've been listening to these guys talk about it. For years and years and years.
So yeah, that's correct. No morning show Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. We'll be back on Thursday, and Friday, obviously. But
if you're actually watching Kramer, Josh, I love to hear that. Love to hear it. We won't have to go back there. Spencer feels about journalists how I feel about Kramer.
I don't hate Jim. I've never hated Jim Kramer. I think I think he can be kind of silly at times.
Very silly.
But, he's the GOAT and what he does. So gotta respect the game, right? I haven't read any of his books ever. So
whatever. The first one's really good. He was a real guy on Wall Street.
Unfortunately, it's been so long now. It's probably become a cartoon of that. But it happens. All right. What else? We have more earnings to talk about. We talked about the Uber thing. What else was on the list? You want me to
also notice the price action in Uber? Typically, if you're going to make a monster acquisition like that, your stock's going to get killed. So, like when this news broke the other day, I'm thinking, oh, Uber's going to get slammed back in the box. Nope. Just like,
I mean,
down 2%. What's the Expedia market cap? That would be a huge hit. They have so much money. This is going to keep happening. They have options. They have become a real powerhouse.
It did go down, right? Maybe it didn't get slammed, but it did go down.
And it's going to claw it all back here today. Watch.
Okay. So wait, there's Expedia, there's BKNG, which is making new all-time highs. What's the other one? There's one more, Trivago. What's the ticker for Trivago again? TRVG.
But dude, is that one really like? I don't think you can compare that one to the other one. You're talking about like.
Wait, there's one more too. I'm not thinking.
No, it used to be travel.
There's one more. And it's TCOM, trip.com, right?
That's China.
That's China, sorry. Maybe TRVG was what I'm thinking of. I don't know.
Trip is gone though. No, TripAdvisor. TRIP.
Supervisor. There you go.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
Look at that. Dude, this is one of those. I wish we had the chart. This is one of those, like, even the worst looking stocks won't break down. TripAdvisor's been holding its pandemic low since this time last year. Before first half of last year.
I mean, it's below. Yeah, you're right. Actually, wow, you're right.
It's hanging around on that like $14 level. Keeps ticking around there. We're seeing so much of this.
I wouldn't say this chart looks good.
The only stocks that are making new lows right now are solar energy stocks.
It is hanging on to dear life to those March 2020 lows. But okay.
More earnings, and we could talk about uranium. Who's coming on the show? We might have to quit this thing at 9:30 today. It's a fast market.
That's what we've been doing.
Spencer's holding some weekly Coinbase calls. They're deep in the money. He doesn't want to give any of this back.
Nah. Wait, who else was on? Can we rock out the calendar for a second? And then I don't know if we have the calendar for next week ready. I don't think we do. It's a shame because next
calendars. We need more earnings graphics. We need earnings bubble charts. We need earnings tables.
You know what's not on the calendar there? Is CVS, which oh my god. So remember CVS lowered their guidance in August? Well, they just lowered their guidance again, basically. And then they said the CEO is out effective yesterday. Usually, I guess that's pretty normal when the CEO is forced out. It's effective immediately. So new CEO, but he's not he's internal hire, right? He's not like a sexy hire or anything. So
no, he's not sexy.
CVS is down 7% this morning, and it's continuing to do what it's doing, which is break down. So not a good business. They're cutting jobs, they're cutting their guidance, their new leadership. It's a whole thing. But not on here is this disaster of the day. Talking about American Express for a second there with Kenny.
No good. They don't like it.
I don't know. I mean, it's down this morning, but they raised their guidance. So, how bad could that be?
How much we're out here, we're doing presentations on it. You see what we're working on. And we talk about how the market determines whether it's a beat or not. And then you come on here every morning and you try to tell me that the market's wrong and that good reports, the stock should be higher, bad reports, it shouldn't be lower. Well, why can't you just listen to the market?
What we're talking about really is like right now is like the immediate reaction, which is not always the actual reaction, right? So I would say the whatever the session you're in after you report, the pre-market or the after-hours session, that immediate session in which you report is almost like it's like bizarro session, right? Because what happens in that session can be totally meaningless in the grand scheme of things, right?
There's also this dynamic too, Spencer, that happens after hours for the post-close reporters, but pre-market into the beginning of the trading day for the pre-market reporters, where the report comes out and then the call starts however much later, half hour, hour later, and they're not done digesting because they simply haven't gotten all the information. They know more information is coming on the call, or at least color around the numbers that were released 30, 45, 60 minutes earlier. So you'll get some sort of reaction in one direction, then the call starts, a reaction in the other direction, the call ends, and they flip it back. So you kind of also want to be very aware that the call is over before you start, weighing the price action.
And that's why you guys are doing this beat report for earnings season, and you're looking at the reaction of the entire first full session after the report, and that's way more important to me than when Netflix has done overnight here this morning. What Netflix does today and what Netflix closes at today is much more significant to me than what they open at right now in 15 minutes, right? So
that one day reaction, Spencer, is 85% of the time pretty good, right? All you need. But there are these cases in less covered stocks with very little analyst coverage, etc., where you'll get a reaction in one direction, it'll take a couple days, and then like an explosion in the other direction. It'll take a little while to reverse it. So we're also looking out to like the 5 and 10 day. We had this situation last quarter where a lot of reporters we're right around Palantir comes to mind. A lot of these stocks came out and reported on August 5th, right? And like August 5th, the market was absolute mess. That was the volatility spike day, right? So you kind of have to look through that and say, okay, let's look at the next day or the next couple days price action. Something like Palantir, that was a great report, but it was getting smacked like everything else that day.
Yeah, and I mean, credit to you. You were talking about Wells Fargo. Impossible to argue at this point, right? You can't argue with this Wells Fargo. It's gone up how many days in a row? A lot, like 6, 7. Right?
Dude, it rallied 4 days into earnings,
right?
And now it's been up 6 days since. This will be a 10-day win streak.
Can't argue with it.
The report wasn't good, but that's all.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right. Who am I to say the report was bad, right? I mean, you can't argue with the Wells Fargo right now, at least.
Great
maybe
chart right now. I would take Wells Fargo over JP Morgan right now. We have the chart. Look at this. I mean, dude, this is so clean. This is so clean. Been knocking on this door for almost a decade. And then you look at something like JP Morgan or Goldman, some of the other big banks, they look a lot better. They've broken out of these kinds of bases. I think Wells Fargo, 84, first stop.
I wish I could remember when. I guess I could Google it. When did the whole accounts scandal happen?
The banks, the banks are about to go through, I think, an absolute renaissance, where they're gonna go back to being the banks of old, a little bit at least. Things are about to change for this group.
Looks like they. Actually, it was a 2016. Yeah, those highs, 2016, 17, whatever that high was. That was sort of when the hammer came down on Wells Fargo for the cross selling stuff they were doing. So
the bottom line is, first of all, there are a lot of bad actors in this space. The 90s, the 2000s, it was an absolute mess, right? But then since then, the 15, 20 years since all of that, these guys have been absolutely harassed. Like, boy, has it changed, right? So they went from wild, wild west on Wall Street, no regulation, all these frauds, fine. And then what do? We way overcorrect. It's how it always works. So they're going to roll back some of these regulations, and it's going to make all the difference from a capital return standpoint. They're going to pay bigger dividends. They're going to buy back more stock. Those two things alone are going to create, I think, just a monster bid in these names.
Yeah, I
mean, it's going to happen early next year, but the market will probably price in ahead of it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But Wells Fargo, has, you've paid for it in time, right, with this one. So, congrats to you if you've survived this long, I guess. But it's hard to argue with this. It looks incredible. So, yeah, you're making me want to buy Wells Fargo. I can't believe it, but here we are.
Listen, everybody should have some exposure to the big banks, and I think at this point now the little ones too. Do we have an M&T bank chart? Look at some of these super regionals. Shout out M&T, that's my bank. Some of these super regionals just look fantastic. Also, U.S. Bank Corp put an options trade on that on Tuesday. Absolute ripper coming off earnings
because they bought SunTrust, right? That's why. No, that was Truist. My bad.
No, M&T bought a little community bank in Connecticut, People's United Bank. And that's how it became my bank.
Okay, actually. Got it.
So yeah, these regional banks are looking better and better and better, and I think there's a massive catch-up trade there. I think the big banks were the safe vehicles, right, within this industry group. This year, last year, JP Morgan's been working for so long, right? But now I think you want to move out on that risk spectrum a little bit, add some regionals, add some community banks. Definitely make sure you own some asset managers. Can we talk about Blackstone? I mean, these guys. I know we talked about it already this week, but this chart, first of all, is just perfect. Did you have the earnings read? What was it? It was yesterday morning, right?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but let's see. Top line beat, bottom line beat. I mean, what else is new? These guys can pretty much hit those numbers in their sleep. AUM up to $1.11 trillion, up 10% year over year. What else do I have? Ooh, what else? Anything of note in this? Not really.
This is like the perfect chart.
Blackstone not to be confused with
No,
BlackRock. They
it
both
was the AUM growth. Wasn't it just like their AUM growth was absolutely ridiculous?
everyone's AUM is growing. I mean, yeah, 10%.
So it's a nothing burger according to
I
Spencer.
don't know. I don't know if it's nothing, but it's certainly good. But I mean, in a bull market, how does your AUM not grow? No, you know what I mean? Like,
Not impressed.
I mean,
You don't sound impressed.
I don't know. I don't. I guess I don't know. Is 10% high? Maybe 10% year over year is high. I don't know.
I would certainly be happy with it.
So
Here you go. Check out.
I mean, I'm. It's a good business. I'm not poo-pooing it. It's a great business, right?
And the bottom line is, we were talking about this offline yesterday. They all look good. Like this whole space. Holy cow! Whether it's Apollo, KKR probably has been the best. There's some smaller names like Owl, Main Street Capital, like we talked about yesterday. You got the private credit stuff. Throw up chart 2, slide 2. The whole space has just been on fire. This whole bull market, whole bull cycle. These have been sleeper picks. Have you been long this group? Look at this. This is what like the best tech stocks look like, right? So you got the breakout, hard retest. This reminds me of what we've been saying about Tencent. Hard retest, right back to right where you want it. You could define your risk so clean on a retest like that. You could risk $1, right? And then your risk reward equation is absolutely juiced. If it moves in your favor, like in this case, where it's just absolutely, just this is exactly how they teach in the textbooks. Right back to that level, buyers step in. They flip that former resistance into support, and then bang, 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 breakaway gap on earnings. Let's go and look at the momentum profile. Momentum never even thought about getting oversold through any of this corrective action this year. Not even close. In fact, it just kept running it back to overbought on every rally. And then there we are again. So this is a great chart. This is like the anatomy of a perfect retest.
Speaking of private equity, who may be joining the club soon is Lamb Weston LW. They have a activist Jenna Partners just took a stake. They're going to push for a sale.
Dude, they sell potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes, wholesale potatoes, right? So they Jenna Partners is taking a 5% stake in Lamb Weston. They're going to push for a board seats and for a sale. And so we're up 11.5% this morning, give or take, on LW. So potatoes, baby, private equity and potatoes.
PE and potatoes.
But,
all right, great. We got all the big earnings. Next week it gets a lot spicier.
Next week is super spicy. Let me bring up a calendar here real fast.
When Moon Spencer, why didn't we talk about crypto today on Crypto Friday? Just because
we should. We gave us charts too. You want to look at Louis' charts? I think we should.
I want you to give Louis' presentation.
No, I don't know. Can't do that for Louis, but I have Louis' charts. I can find. Do we have them? I think we do. All right. Look at that. Oh man, I know Louis been. If you get Louis' AC Crypto Daily Note that goes out every day at like 5 a.m., he's been tactically bullish for the past couple of weeks maybe. And you could kind of see why, right? I mean, Brennan, I like it. We all like it. No,
I think you could jump this. Like you can paint an even sexier picture for Bitcoin here if you put on slide 2. Yeah, that's a sweet little channel breakout, right? The all-time high VWAP, I think, is really that level. You got a new pivot high here. I think you could jump it. JC's been saying low 70s. I think this is it. Called 65. Go time, baby.
good. Finally, an all-time high VWAP is interesting.
Do you own enough Bitcoin?
Probably not. I haven't bought Bitcoin in a while. I haven't bought any crypto really in quite a while. I don't buy it on a regular basis like I do other things.
Why?
No, why? I don't know. My no, I probably I think I bought some. I made a Fidelity crypto account like a year ago, so I probably bought some when I did that. And no, I probably don't own enough in like the grand scheme of things, right? From an allocation standpoint, I probably don't own enough. But it's for me, it started off as like kind of a play money thing, and then morphed into like, oh, this is like kind of serious. So, should buy more, probably.
Oops. I think there's also a massive catch-up trade developing in some of these Bitcoin miners. Why don't we throw up?
You guys have been all over the Bitcoin miners.
Throw up one of these miners. Like, so go back to Coin first. Actually, that's great. Coin is failing this top so hard right now. Coin looks absolutely incredible. We just keep running it back with risk reversals on this setup. Past couple of weeks, it's been great. Big move this week, catching up. I think Mara and Riot are similar. These have been some of the most beaten down Bitcoin miners. You look at a chart like this, we've zoomed way out because this was perfect trend reversal. Inverse head and shoulders. You got the breakout, but then right into this distribution-y looking situation here. I think there's no way this is a top. It fails this top. It rips higher, finally puts the finishing touches on this, what's really a massive rounding bottom. At this point, it's a rounding bottom into a range. I think you finally get that breakout, and who knows how high these stocks could go. They are so levered to the price of Bitcoin. We're talking about Bitcoin 100K next year. Where's a stock like Mara? Is it back at those old highs around 80? Because that's a quadruple from here. So there's some spicy stuff out there. Look, if you're looking for the juice, if you're looking,
oh my God,
monster beta, they have vehicles.
These things go. Yeah. But you got to really watch them because when they go. But like even within those, I mean, you can just see it on the chart there because I was in this thing, like the end of last year, and like it was great on the, and then it was vicious on the way down, right? Like so you got to really be tight or watch them. Don't just set it and forget it on Mara because
no, and we'll have to update Dawson if and when it gets back to 80, so he could eat his shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, look, these stocks are crazy. I think a lot of these Bitcoin miners probably eventually go to zero. I think we probably get some really good American Greed episodes out of some of these companies in the future. You know what I mean? But the ones that work and turn out to actually be mining Bitcoin and doing things right, there are some good operators in this space too. If you could pick the right ones, first of all, some of these charts look fantastic, like the Core Scientific, CORZ, like some of them look really good. Wolf.
Part of me wonders because like you guys approach the Bitcoin miners as the levered play on Bitcoin, but I wonder if now that we've gotten like the financialization of Bitcoin with the ETF, and there's going to be leveraged Bitcoin ETFs out there now, right? Do we even need these guys anymore? I don't know if we do. So
I don't know. To me, there's some sweet trading vehicles. And when I see this range in Bitcoin that's been taken almost all year now, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this thing's about to break out. Okay, how do I squeeze the most juice out of this reaction rally that comes from this range resolution? I'm looking at junky names like this all day. We're buying calls. So let's go sell some calls. It's Friday.
Yeah, man, Dawson, maybe you're right, man. I don't know. We'll find out. I've never owned a miner for more than like 2 weeks. So
hey, look, we'll find out. If this resolution that we're talking about in Bitcoin is real, you should see fireworks in these names in the coming days and weeks. So
sure, how can they not go up? If Bitcoin's going to go up, how can Mara not go up? Right? It has to. So, do we have anything else for Crypto Friday, or was that it? Nope, that was it. Cool. Guys, by the way, I mentioned Louis' note. I know Louis is not here, but it should be in the description. Oh, I don't think it is. Well, if you go to here, I'll drop the link in the chat right now to sign up for Louis' free daily crypto note, which goes out every day at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And it takes like literally 30 seconds to read. So here's the link in the chat right now. You should get that along with all of our other free research, like the Hot Corner and the chart report, Strazza letter, which I'll have a sign-up page for that next week. and a whole bunch of we do all the good stuff, free and not free.
Yeah.
Um,
Heard the Strazza letter's pretty good.
that's what I heard too.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 9:30. Fonz, do you have anything for us? You want to hop on for a few minutes and then we'll get out of here? I think Fonz might have something to say. If I can find my Alfonso intro bumper, I can bring him on the show.
2 minutes because the bell just rang.
All right. Oh, wait a minute.
I'm not waiting for a resolution from the relative trend.
Hey guys.
That's a great comment in the chat. What's up, Fonz? I'm not waiting for a resolution from the relative trend. I think the intermarket evidence for Bitcoin right now is as much as you need. Right, all these Bitcoin stocks, all these crypto stocks breaking out of ranges. That's it. That's enough for me. Is that enough for you, Fonz?
Yeah, I mean, we have been pounding the table on the strength of crypto stocks. Breaking out MicroStrategy was a great example, even Robinhood. Now these miners trying to catch up, even though in at a bullish day, for example, yesterday for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So definitely showing signs of life. As you said, I mean, there are multiple ways to play Bitcoin at these levels. There is always like a trade-off. When you trade these breakouts, you can wait for more conviction, to have more convictions and buy it like above 72, 73, or if you want, you're betting on a better timing, better price entry, you can trade that channel as you mentioned. So yeah.
Well, you could scale in. When you have multiple levels overhead that are close together, just scale in.
Yeah, exactly.
We're lucky. It makes no sense to just buy something once today. You should be paying close to nothing for commissions, even in crypto. If you're paying much for commissions in crypto, you might be paying a subscription fee. Go Coinbase. That's why you should own the stock. But if you're paying much in commissions, you're doing this all wrong. Leg into something, right? Scale in. Like Fonz said, you could jump it at this level. Okay, buy one here. Okay, and then you get the confirmation in the low 70s. Finish the position off then.
Yeah, that's right. That's how it is.
No. What are you watching today? What's been working this week? What do you got?
A big theme that caught my attention. I mean, I have been talking about software, cybersecurity, all these techs and speculative stocks doing great. But also, I wanted to change some focus in other areas of the market that have been doing great, but have seen like a notice lately. For example, the material sector, it's breaking out of that monster base above the prior cycle highs. Yeah. So yesterday I wrote a quick note about the material subgroups and how they are doing it. So basically, this bubble chart shows the change from the 2021 or 2022 highs. That means the prior cycle highs, of course, on the y-axis, and in the axis, on the horizontal axis, I'm showing the 3-month relative change. So what it stood out the most for me are the groups that are at the top of the chart.
This is such a great bubble chart. Yeah, explain the axes here.
Yeah, I mean, what it stands out for me the most was the groups that are at the top of the chart, enclosed in the oval, because it means that those groups are returning to their previous highs. So they are pressing against the upper bounds. Some of them, as materials, as I showed before, are breaking out of this basis. So there is a lot of opportunities in this space if these sectors break out. And the ones that is setting apart, because it's at the right hand of the chart, it's uranium. That means it has been outperforming its peers over the past 3 months. And when you look at the chart of uranium ETF, random bottom formation, it has been building a nice base for the past decade. It's pressing against the upper bounds of this massive consolidation, and I think it's ready to go. If we look at its largest component, this one represents like 24% of the entire fund. So chemical is like the bellwether of this space. So if this one is going, And if these ones break out, I think the rest will follow. And I think there are a lot of opportunities in this space, not only in uranium, but in the metal space too.
This is a mega trend. We have had that idea for a while now. The performance off of the 2020 lows for uranium stocks like CCJ and peers, absolutely incredible. Right? We've had to be patient. We've seen these 20-year bases developing for a long, long time now. And this is not the only one. There are more, whether you look at UEC or Denison, the bases in this space are spectacular, right? I think a pattern like CCJ, this is the industry leader. This is like concept. This is the bellwether in the space. There's Cameco and there's everything else when it comes to nuclear and uranium. Getting this monster-based breakout, I think, is confirmation that megatrend has arrived, and these stocks are going to be at much, much higher prices in the future. Look at this SMR. Like, if you want something spicy, right? We're always talking about, I want the most juice. I want the highest beta vehicle to kind of play these trends. Look at this SMR. This thing was up like 30% the other day in a single day. Monster short interest, best day ever, highest volume on record, breakout. I don't know. What more could you want? Can we show the chart? Is that all right?
What? Where's? Here. Yeah. Yeah. Run some. Yeah.
New Scale Power Corp. That is the wrong ticker. It should say SMR.
Yeah. Exactly. But it's SMR.
It looks like new.
Yeah. Right.
Before
Before he broke out from that base, but that's true. But yeah, I mean, monster base.
I'm with you, dude.
Yeah, a lot of good potential setups here. So yeah,
and they're actionable. I mean, it might feel like with the way some of these stocks have been up just over the past couple of sessions, like, oh, how could I buy them here, right? But there are some clean levels, some fresh base breakouts, and these are long-term patterns. Maybe not the one in SMR, but if you flip it back to CCJ, this is a multi-decade base breakout, right? Like if you buy it 5% above like the perfect level, you should be okay. The idea there is that you get a massive reaction out of a pattern like that. It's a longer-term trade, but the reward in that risk-reward equation should be so high that, if you pay up a couple bucks because of some momentum breakout,
yep,
I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, that's how it is.
All right. You guys want to hit recess and then shut this thing down? We got work to do.
Let's do that.
All right.
My recess is just holy crap, what a game last night. The Yankee game was a total heartbreaker. It was incredible until it wasn't when they lost at the end, but just super dramatic.
This is this Ohtani guy, right? This is a gambling addict.
No, he's playing the Mets. The Yankee game, there was back-to-back home runs in the 8th inning against the best pitcher in baseball, and then tying home run in the bottom of the 9th inning, and then another walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th inning. Yankees did not win. They're still in good shape, but man, last night was one of the most dramatic games I can remember watching.
They need to bring
that's the finals.
No, we're in the semifinals, Vaughn. So it's not over yet.
And who is winning? How is the series going?
The Yankees are still winning. They're winning 2-1 at a best of 7. But oh man, last night was insane.
And Mets are down 2-1, Spencer?
Mets are they're toast, man. They're down 3-1. They're toast. Sorry, Mets fans.
Well, that's a bummer because a Subway Series would be nice.
Wait, what are the other teams?
Would have been cool. The Mets.
What are the Guardians? Is this like the Guardians of the Galaxy? Are they like legal Guardians? What? I don't understand this name.
It's I think it's a Cleveland like art installation thing. Like the Cleveland Guardian is like a well-known Cleveland sculpture. I don't know. I think, but yeah, it's looking like it's going to be the Dodgers against maybe the Yankees. Hopefully the Yankees. Knock on wood, but we'll see. Man, last night's game was insane. So that's what I got.
I just want to say we have a cold front rolling into Florida. God damn, does it feel good to be able to walk outside?
When you say cold front, what do you mean? Like 60s?
We might break below 80 though.
Right.
Yeah, we should get a little mid 70s here one of these nights.
I looked this morning. It said it was 40 degrees this morning. 3 hours ago, it was 40 degrees.
That's a different kind of cold front than what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. But so it seems like the season is breaking on the East Coast, but we're welcoming it here. Nice breeze, feels good outside.
Yeah. Fonz, what do you got?
I have nothing for today. I have nothing.
No. Wow. All right, fine. All right. He wants to go put trades on. Let's go. Fast market. We're making a lot of money out here.
All right. We got off the charts. The latest episode's coming out in 20 minutes. You guys talked to Andrew Moss, correct?
Oh, what a nice guy. Yeah, really enjoyed this conversation. We're just so lucky that we get to do this each week. So hope you guys enjoy it too. Andrew Moss, CMT. One of 2 CMTs in the great state of Virginia, West Virginia.
I've been to West Virginia, actually.
I've never been.
I was there during COVID, July 2020.
Me and Sean might go on a hiking trip.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Smash the like. Again, no show Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. We will be live with Kenny Glick from 9:15 to 10.
Do you see Flotski's message in the chat? They want you to open the show so that they can hang out. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a Kenny stream, and it'll function as the same way, Phil. So it'll be the same chat. No, okay. Here's the thing. The Guardians of Traffic was a Cleveland Art Deco sculpture in 1932 that they built to, I don't know, in Cleveland. So art. I was right. So somewhat. Whatever. Have a good weekend, everyone. Go make some money, and we'll see you next week. All right.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, guys.